Hello and welcome back. And I want to start you off with a bit of a musing. I've always wanted to try out all the different peripherals that you can get on different consoles. It made them all kind of unique in a way. In the 7th generation of consoles, the Wii's way of doing that was to go all in with motion controls. As we all know now, Sony and Microsoft eventually followed suit. I've used both the Wii's and PS3's motion controllers plenty of times, but I've only had one or two experiences with the Xbox 360's Kinect. I've held off getting one because all of the ones I ever saw available for sale didn't have a power supply. However, recently I only just learned that you only need that for the original Xbox 360. The Slim and Elite models don't need it. So, as the happy owner of a Slim model of 360, I finally picked up a Kinect of my very own, along with some Kinect games. Which leads us into something that could be worth looking into. Hello fellow gamers, and today I'll be finding out how well the original Kinect fares in 2019. First things first, we've got to set this up. Now, since I spent about a week wiring up the consoles properly, I wasn't going to just chuck this in. I took a few extra minutes just making sure it was tucked away properly with the rest of the wiring. After placing it lovingly below my TV, it was time to fire up the Xbox. The first thing I was met with was a series of configuration screens. No big deal. I just went through the background noise, speaker volume, microphone calibration stuff, and then enabled the Kinect for use in in-game chat. And perfect! We're ready to roll! It's even spotted me waving. Huh. No profile match, eh? Guess I need to start setting up my Kinect ID. I figured it would be best to get this out of the way before doing anything else. And this was, sadly, the start of my troubles. It was at this point that it became pretty much unresponsive. I even had to restart the setup, and when I did that, it reset the camera, so it was now pointing over my head. But hey, at least it was responding now. Right, time to get this set up properly. Let's just get me scanned in, and... What? I can't reach that far back. I started again, this time standing behind the sofa in an effort to try and calibrate this thing. And we're scanning, and I'm still too close. I couldn't get far enough back for it. Even pushing my back against the gaming wall was too close. What the f***? Okay, let's try the Kinect tuner instead. Maybe I can fine-tune this for my gaming room. It was first telling me to position the Kinect above my TV. Now, considering my current setup, this wasn't looking likely. So for now, I'm keeping it below the TV. It then tried to reset to its default viewing angle, which it couldn't do because I had a blasted sofa in the way. Moving on with the setup, and it was asking me to sit 6 feet away. It was at this point that this happened. I'd heard so many people complain about the Kinect requiring a large room, but I wasn't going to be playing Just Dance or anything. I thought I might have been able to at least set this up a little bit in my gaming room. This was starting to look like a failed endeavour. But I soldiered on, to see what I could get out of this thing. I was able to at least achieve some upper body tracking after adjusting the angle of the Kinect, but even that wasn't enough. I even tried the fine-tune calibration, using a calibration card that came with one of my games. First scan, successful, great! Second scan, no. I was still too close. I had the calibration card pushed against the gaming wall, and it still wasn't far enough away for it to be read. I gave up in the end. Doing this felt like a waste of time. Instead, I moved on to the first of the Kinect games I had picked up, Kinectimals. I thought perhaps I could get this working, as all it is just a virtual pet game of sorts. I didn't think this would need a lot of space, and the sight of that adorable little tiger cub would lift my spirits. Sadly not, because I couldn't even get past the title screen. Apparently, I needed to stand in the circle to play, and this was as far back as I could go. this is me pressing up against the gaming wall. I'll just have to make do with the real thing instead. Since that didn't work, I didn't even attempt Kinect Adventures or Kinect Sports. Instead, I moved on to Fable, The Journey. And considering everything that I'd gone through so far, I didn't have high hopes for this title. But, colour me surprised, it actually worked! Now, granted, it was constantly telling me to move back, but it was still picking up my gestures. I was able to get my horse galloping and turn around corners and get it to stop on a beat. I didn't venture too far into this though, as I'd soon realised I had another Kinect game that I could try out. Forza Motorsport 4 also supports the Kinect in a limited capacity. I was thinking maybe it would track my head while I was in the car, you know, like Gran Turismo 5 did on the PS3 using the PlayStation Eye. That sort of thing. I thought that could work well here. But no, instead I found that it actually tracks your hand movements while you turn an imaginary wheel. Now trying this out was rather difficult. After selecting an Aston Martin to drive around the Top Gear test track, the tracking just wasn't having any of it. My car was wildly out of control. The second attempt worked a lot better though as I got used to it. I was even able to gently guide the car around subtle turns on the track rather accurately. In fact, this is me going around the hammerhead. In fact, here's me on my third and final attempt and doing a pretty good job at it. In hindsight, it probably would have been funnier if I got out my Wii steering wheel for this, you know? So, what did I think of the original Kinect today? It's a nice gimmick, but sadly that's all it is. A gimmick. Even though I had some mild success with it, you really need a large open space in order to play many of these games. That might not have been so bad in the 360's heyday, because many people would have had it set up in their living rooms. But today, it's most likely going to be set up in bedrooms, gaming rooms, man caves, or on the shelf in your local second-hand shop. I might give this another shot in the future by moving the Kinect to one of the shelves above the TV. Some people have reported some success when doing that. And then there's the Nyko Zoom lens, which helps the Kinect work better in smaller rooms. I might just do a follow-up to this video once I get a hold of one. For now though, unless you really want to control your TV using hand gestures, or you have the fortune to play in a larger room, the Xbox 360's Kinect, in my opinion, isn't worth picking up. And I'm sure most of you are already writing in the comments about how obvious that conclusion is. But anyway, I'm not going to take you away from flailing your arms around any longer. Thanks so much for watching, and if you like the video, be sure to like and subscribe down below, or even leave a comment about your experiences with the Kinect in recent years. In the meantime, thanks again, and I'll catch you all next time.